We're back with a live testimonial from the Rapid Strong program. We've got Kim with us today. I'm really excited to share with you guys her results and her story. But before I do that, let's meet Kim. So, Kim, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Kim. I recently just turned 50. I am a nurse at HSN. I'm a mother of two lovely girls, and I have two beautiful puppies and an amazing husband.
That is, that, that is awesome. I hope that the people who are watching can relate and feel, that Kim is like the rest of us. She has a life, she has a busy family lifestyle, and finding a workout that's going to work for you is something you had to kind of put into play. So, when you found this workout, what was the end result? What were your total result summaries, Kim, as far as your weight loss and your inches?
About 12 pounds, and are we at 12 or 15 inches, something like that?
That's
I don't
amazing.
know. The clothes are feeling amazing. That's all I care about.
I love it. I love it. That's incredible. And so let's take it back before the Rapid Strong program came into your life. So before Rapid Strong, what was the biggest struggle and biggest frustration with the structure you were trying to implement back then, before Rapid Strong?
Well, I think my biggest struggle is the power food had over me. I'm an emotional eater. I've known that for a long time. And I could drive home from work and all I was thinking about was, what am I going to eat when I get home? And then I'm like, am I even hungry? Right. So, like I said, I decided to use my Fitness Pal starting in January because I said I didn't want that control over me anymore. Um, I mean, I've done this before. I know what I should do and what I shouldn't do. So it was just a matter of like, I need to feel better. I want to feel better. You know, I have a closet full of clothes that I would like to feel better fitting in instead of going like, well, I'm not comfortable in this. Maybe I shouldn't wear that out because I don't want people to look at me and that type of stuff. But yeah.
That's awesome. I love that you said that this isn't your first time around. You know what I mean? Like you've done this before. You've felt that you've tried different modes before. What were some of the different modes that you tried before to hit your
Oh, oh gosh, I've done Weight Watchers. I have done tried keto, not fully strict. I have done soup cleanses. I mean, I've probably tried everything on the market, pill wise and stuff. Even though there is no magic pill. I have joined a gym before, and don't get me wrong, it was great and stuff. I probably didn't use it to my best advantage. Like I would think, oh, I worked out, so I can have that, and defeating the whole purpose of doing what I was doing, you know, because I didn't have the food part to go with it. I love that this has a food part to it that was already included. It wasn't over and above, and it wasn't stuff that you kind of went, ooh, I don't like that, or oh, I'm not going to eat that, and where the heck do I buy that? It was just regular stuff, right? So.
Yeah, I love that. That's an important part of it. And when you said your biggest frustration and part that was standing in the way was the nutrition. I mean, you were
Yeah,
working out, you were trying to do that, you were doing and enjoying the process, but the result wasn't there. You knew that nutrition was something you had to kind of take over and like get a
exactly.
focus on. So the question I wanted to ask was about that frustration that affected your life. How did it feel? And like before you started seeing the results, how did it feel, and what was the effect that having that nutrition had on your life? Did you notice it was affecting like things like your sleep and your moods and stuff like that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, absolutely. My sleep was terrible. I'm a sugar junkie. Actually, my husband is too, so it's not a salt and a sugar, so it's really bad having both of us sugar. So I didn't sleep well. Also hitting menopause was not a good thing either. The sleep was affected. I was irritable. I was cranky. All the time. My daughter's just yelling in the background all the time.
I love it. Family testimonial.
Yeah. So just feeling really blah.
That's
You have a bit of brain fog, you got joint pain, and like I said, I've played with injuries from not being kind to my body. So I've had to really adjust and go, okay, I can't do certain things anymore. I still want to do things, but can't do what I used to do, right? So I need to find something to work within me.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. And one of the things you just talked about was the joint pain and the wear and tear, right? We all
Mhm.
know that like exercise is good for you. And a lot of people go to the gym, which is good for you, and they try to exercise in like 1 hour intervals, which again, you did. I've done it. Many people do it. And then the next question was, how has this program helped you? And I think that in the transition to this question, it's also understanding that the joint pain and stuff you were doing was like an hour at a time, if I'm not mistaken, right? Your workouts were kind of on the long duration. Was that
Yeah,
playing a role on the joints and the impact and the wear and tear? And how has this new structure brought something different?
yeah. So yeah, it was about a 45-minute workout, 3 times a week, and then a different one on the alternating days. But yeah, it was hard on my body. I ended up injuring my elbow that I eventually needed surgery for. Now I've been told I have terrible knees for somebody my age because of arthritis, and I'm supposed to be getting a knee replacement at some point. So only doing for 15 minutes makes a big difference, I find. Clearly, weather does play a factor. I had a week there that I've had to ice it just because it's the weather. There's nothing I can do, and my knee is ginormous, but I'm trying my best to just deal with it and do what I can. But 15 minutes, man, I love it. I have it done before I go to work in the morning, and I'm like, hey, and I'm ready to go for the day. And my day starts at 4:30. Like I have a new puppy, so 4:30 I'm up with this puppy, and so sometimes though nights are pretty quiet because I'm ready for bed at 8 o'clock. But
But
yeah,
I would think too that having a structure like that actually helps your sleep now, right?
it does. Absolutely, it does. The routine, um, on top of it, the meal prepping, everything just it's so much easier. It makes life simpler, and it makes you more accountable with your food, right? So
Very much so.
it
One of the early results you guys were all seeing, and again, this was prevalent in the early first couple of weeks, was like the lack of bloating and inflammation. And what
yeah.
do you think? What do you think the change was there? Like, did you notice a massive amount for yourself in the bloating and inflammation department?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it was just because obviously water intake was increased and you were paying more attention to what you were eating because you had to log it, you know, and and measuring stuff and instead of just going, oh yeah, I can have this, I can have that. So yeah, a big change right off the bat. But then I remember the point too, I forget how far in we were that I was suffering from massive headaches,
Right.
right? And stuff. And I thought, oh my God, like this is awful, right? But it was the lack of salt and stuff, just the way my whole body was changing with everything and adapting to lower calories and more water, I guess, and things like that. So,
Mhm. Very nice. And one of the bigger things that most people don't realize is processed foods have so much alteration to them that they're creating an inflammation. And before the program, were you a processed food connoisseur? Were you having processed foods?
not a lot. No.
A lot,
No, we don't, we're not big for that.
right?
I try not to because I know how bad it is. But yeah, so
Yeah.
no, that wasn't a big thing for us.
Good, that's good. Because a lot of times people, as soon as they cut out the processed food and move to a more whole food source, they immediately see, reduction of inflammation as well and better gut health. So you start noticing that you have more natural balance. And that's something that's really important. Your water, obviously, you made a big improvement there. So the question's very broad about, how has this program helped you? But we've covered quite a few different ways that it helped you, your sleep, your energy. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about your energy levels before you started the 15-minute approach. Were you constantly kind of tired from beating yourself up 45 minutes a day, or were
Oh
you
yeah.
pretty good energy? Tell us a little bit about your energy change.
So definitely an energy change with this because there was more food uh towards this program, so I was paying more attention. So a lot less sugar intake and stuff. So the 3, 4 o'clock time, you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I want a nap. And, I want a nap now, but it's because I'm up at 4:30, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't find that it's food related and all that kind of stuff, because my water intake is great and I'm paying more attention to what I'm putting into my body.
Yes, beautiful. Love that. So, if you look at life now, all these weeks later, you went through Rapid Strong the first 9 weeks. How excited were you about the change of lifestyle just in the first, let's say, even the first 3 weeks, the first case study part? Could you already feel in the first 3 weeks that the lifestyle was changing, or was it too soon to tell?
Oh no, absolutely. It was easy to tell. It was a big change you could find. Like I said, everything like the bloating, inflammation, brain fog, sleep, irritability, wasn't crabby, as my kid will attest to.
That's awesome. And so after that first 3 weeks, how easy was it to decide, like, you know what, this is the style that's going to work for me? Had you already made that choice in your mind?
Oh, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Absolutely no-brainer. You're like, and I mean, I think Sylvie and I were both in the same boat. We're like, well, what do you mean we're done? We can't be done. What else can we do? You got to give us something else, Lawrence.
Yeah. You
And
were.
I'm actually thinking in that sense now, because we have what, one more week left from the
Right.
advanced. I'm going, shit, what do I do now?
Where do I go now? Yeah,
You know,
and it's amazing. But yeah, you were one of the first ones to hit me up saying, okay, well, what are we going to do when this is over? Because this can't be over. I found what
yeah.
I'm looking for, right? Which is awesome. So the continual progression of lifestyle and adaptation is that the 15-minute approach for resistance training has really benefited you in so many ways. And life has been different now. How has your family life changed, just out of curiosity? Has there been a difference in the way the family's eating, or is the family exercising with you? Or what type of family change, like just as the outside sources, what's different now than it was before?
Not a lot. Like the eating, obviously, because I don't make extra. If you're not liking what I'm making, too bad. It sucks to be you. But I mean, we do the meal prep and they see it. I'm pretty much the most active one. My daughter that was just commenting there, she does her own little exercising downstairs, but my husband will walk with me the odd time and stuff, but he walks a lot at work and he's tired too because he's up at quarter to 4 for his day.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you don't have a lot of energy left by the end of the day when you get home, because, you have supper and cleanup and animals to take care of. And, we try to do a bit of housework during the week, so it's not all left on the weekend and that. But I still think it's much better, food wise, mostly.
Mostly the food, yeah, which was,
Yeah.
like you said, that was the frustration that became, we needed a solution to that. Once we found that solution for you, you really started to make sense of it. And again, it's not like you said, like you've tried every other diet out there, you've tried every other formula, and none of them really worked or stuck long term. What was different about this time learning about the food versus just trying to follow something that was written for you? Was there a difference in learning about what was actually, I guess, understanding the food and the nutrients and everything else?
Oh, for sure. All the little tips that you would send out and all the stuff we had to read and pay attention to. And yeah, it made a big difference for sure. And like my fitness pal, that's a no-brainer too. You just plug in information. And I've tried to even get my oldest daughter onto it. Get in there, you know, it's a simple change. Start with one thing at a time. Don't go and have to worry about changing 15 things, because it's not going to work. you know you need to do one thing at a time and work your way up and stuff. So I was happy for the changes I made prior to you coming out with this Rapid Strong, and I had been following you for some time. I did try to walk with you guys that one time, and of course I have a Morton's neuroma that kept me from going, and I love to walk, so, and that's hard for me not to be able to do, and I walk a lot at work as well, so
Right, right. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you mentioned that because you were talking about your potentially needing, I think it was a knee replacement, you said,
yeah.
right? And let's go back and say, okay, well, you love to walk, you're in maybe in need of knee replacement. How has the walking changed over the course of Rapid Strong for you? Have you kind of made an emphasis on walking more? Has it become easier to walk since you've been doing the 15-minute daily approach to your workouts? How has walking changed?
I walk a bit more because I decided on my afternoon break at work, instead of sitting for 15 minutes, I'm going to walk. So I do that. I try to walk either on my treadmill or walk in the evenings, depending. And I have a girlfriend that I usually walk with on the weekends. Um, my knee gets quite irritated after walking more so than anything. But I got to do it.
Right. And
Right. So
that's great because there's a lot of people out there who have bad knees, right? And they might be watching this video right now and going, "Wow, I relate to her story so much, but my knees are so bad, I can't do anything." And they're usually we put that I can't on it because it's just
yeah,
you kind of write off the possibility right away. But you're still doing squats and lunges in these programs
yeah,
and things like that. How
yeah,
has that been, considering that you're in one of these candidates for possibly a knee
yeah.
replacement? How have you been able to get through 15 minutes with your knees the way they are?
Um, I don't obviously go as low as potentially you could. I go until I find that, okay, that's far enough, you know. Um, but I do it because saying you can't and whatever, it's not gonna do you any good, right? So I don't like I'm very gentle with the jumping squat. Even with the split squat jump that we're doing this week. I just try to be a little bit kind of light on my feet so it's not so much of an impact. Because I was doing Kangoo earlier, and I did get the okay from the doctor to do that just because I have the springs to absorb the
Impact.
bounce, right? So I don't have a lot of impact on the knee. And he told me as long as there was no pain to do that, he says, then you carry on. And he even told me not to stop walking. He says, do what you can,
Great
because the minute
advice.
you stop, the worse it's going to be for you.
Totally, totally great advice. And I hope that the listeners who are watching this interview right now are feeling exactly that. Like you can't get more true than that. Even the doctor's advice, which is great advice, because some doctors do not. They tell you to go take the rest, be almost
Yeah,
inactive. And people take that as a permission to not do anything for the rest of their life, right? And then they wonder why
exactly.
why they're having health issues. It's going to just pile up. So I love that you've been active. You didn't, make the impossible like I can't. You got past that right away. You knew you could. It was just a matter of how.
Yeah,
And with less amount of time on the joints, 15-minute approach, and then getting some walks in there, you still get your inflammation in the knee and stuff, but you also, you have better management protocols for how you ice it and how you recover from that as well, right?
yeah, for sure.
That's
For sure.
perfect. Very good. And so the last question about this before we wrap up is what was your most proud moment and the most unexpected result in the program? If you thought about what was the biggest, proudest moment for you, was there a moment of breakthrough or realization or just excitement that came from the entire journey? Was there a moment that really stood out for you as the biggest, proudest moment?
I don't think there was one thing, maybe except last week. Right? Like I've always wanted to get under the 200 mark, right? Like, and then being even closer to what I think is comfortable for me, So the 2 pound, 2.2 last week was probably the biggest one. And I went down a uniform size at work, and even that's now getting looser. So that's even better. Um, even today I put on a shirt. I'm like, holy shit. I said this was snug before, that I would never leave the house with it on because it's very thin and it was form fitting. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. And today I wore it to work. But you know,
Love it. And a uniform size, how much is that? I mean, if we put that in perspective for people who don't know.
so I went from an extra large to a large.
There you
So, and like I was telling you at that point at work, I had somebody look at me and say, okay, Kim, you need to go down a pant size, because I had so much extra material in the crotch area that they're like, okay. And I said, well, I tried, but it was a little tight. And within a week, I was in that size. And, now they're getting even looser, that
go.
I'm pulling up my pants at work. So
You're gonna
I'll
need
take it.
they're gonna need a drawstring or a belt on there.
Yeah. It's the clothes. The clothes feel so much better.
Mm.
I have a closet full that I could get into, but they weren't very comfy, right? Because they were too tight. And now you're like, oh, this is good. This is perfect. I like it.
So confidence comes as a byproduct, maybe, right?
Maybe, yeah, for sure, for sure.
What would you say to somebody who was, thinking, this sounds like something I'd be into, like, and but I noticed that, you're asked to take some photos at the beginning and some measurements, and I'm not comfortable doing that. What advice would you say to someone who doesn't want to take a photo or do some measurements at the beginning?
Oh my God, just do it. I did the photos and I'm kicking myself that I didn't do them the way Sylvie did, right? With taking more defined pictures of, like, say, your belly and stuff. Um, and do the measurements because you are going to be shocked. Don't pay attention to the scale. Don't pay attention to the scale. Throw it out, whatever you got to do. But do the picture and do the measurements, you will be happy. And I didn't notice anything in pictures, right? Until you and Sylvie looked at them and, well, oh, I this and that. And because we're hard on ourselves. We are absolutely our worst critics, right? So I have now decided when I take my weekly pictures, I have a little app that I can put my pictures side by side and I go, oh shit, look at that. Yeah, I can see it now, right? So I've been doing that and going, yep, yep, that works. So
Perfect.
to
Yeah.
me, this is a no-brainer. Try 3 weeks. And if you don't see anything, then hey, there you go.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks is nothing.
That's perfect. Yeah, and again, the last thing I was going to say is if someone's on the fence watching this video going, I'm thinking I might try Rapid Strong, but I'm not 100% sure if it's for me, then I think you just gave them the okay to go ahead and, do this.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier it's not an age thing, right? I mean, it could be any
Gosh, no,
age, you know,
no,
could be any type of physical fitness level. We've got modification, right? You found that if you don't have
yeah.
a specific exercise piece of equipment or whatever, we've made it pretty simple to do from home.
Oh,
Uh,
for sure, for
were you
sure.
interrupted in your process by any unexpected illness or vacation or anything like that? Did you have to overcome any unforeseen obstacles?
No, like it was my 50th birthday there, so I did have cake. I wasn't going to not have cake. Um, having a new puppy, trying to do exercising, and he's laying on my chest or he's under my legs, but you know, that's about it. I didn't have any vacation. I did not get sick because I know some other people in our group were sick or they had to have surgery, and it was like, oh man, But no, I was pretty good. I was
Pretty
pretty good.
blessed
I
with
must say, yeah.
yeah, with the timeline, which is great. But again, looking forward to the future, what would you say now about this new lifestyle and this new structure that you're going to enjoy the most?
It's simple. It's easy. It's not rocket science. I don't have to figure it out. Like if you've been doing this and, just carry on, you're going to get there.
Perfect.
And don't worry about what other people are doing. You're going to get there when you get there. Everybody is different, you
Mhm.
know. Like Sylvia was amazing, but she's at a different stage in her life where I'm battling other things, right? And you know,
Totally.
nobody's built the same. That's why I say BMI sucks.
I agree. And so when we talk about it, and we've always heard the term personal training, and really, although this is a group program, it's still an individual, personalized journey. And therefore, you had a different journey than Sylvia and others in the group.
Yeah,
Every person undergoes the same structure, but applies it to their lifestyle, which is
yeah,
pretty cool. And I like how you wrapped it up in our interview today in the way of they putting it into perspective, the way that it looked before, what you were doing, to how it fits in now. You can't even see life having any other approach other than 15 minutes a day, right?
yeah,
Because I know that there are a lot of ladies like yourself who've tried everything else. They've done workouts for up to an hour, hour and a half in the gym, hitting it hard. Kind of doubted the fact that 15 minutes could possibly do anything for you,
hmm,
right? So you've proven, and so many others, and that the 15-minute approach is an accumulative sustainability that's so much easier on the body.
for sure.
When we look at the inches lost, you were saying you were in the range of, what was it, 17 to 20 or 15 to
I
20?
think I'm about 12 to 15 inches and total, according to my fitness pal, I'm down like 18 pounds since January.
18 pounds.
So, and like I said, the first 5 was just using my fitness pal and water intake increase.
Wow.
That was all I did for 5 pounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
it might have been 5 pounds of water, but I don't care. It's 5 pounds.
Again, like you say, when you're looking at that scale, every pound is playing its role on your mental health, right?
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
it's moving in the right direction, that's a good thing. But inches really showed you that there's so much more than just the scale involved. And yeah,
absolutely.
and I love
Yeah,
what you said about the photos and the measurements. And your regret is that you wish you had revealed a little more in your photo to really, even though you lack maybe the confidence in the beginning, it's really showing up now. And you want to be able to look back and go, damn, right? There's how
yeah,
far I came in. And the old shirt that hung is hanging even looser now, but there you can't see what's underneath.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I regret the same things when I look back. I don't have photos from where I began either, but we've all gone through a big transformation, and we couldn't be more proud of you, Kim. Super excited for how far you've come and the fact that you're just scratching the surface of where you're going to go. You've got years ahead, and you turned a mess into a message, and that's what we're here for today, is to
Great.
show people that message and what the winning side of it's looking like and feeling like. So that's awesome. Congratulations. And again, thank you so much for being on the interview with us today. And we'll look forward to seeing some updates from you as the months and years continue to go by to see how well you're continuing to do.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so
You're
much.
accountable forever from here on.
Perfect. Thanks.
All right.